boy. See, zooming on the board here. Weekend of Champions. There it is. Yes, question and answers tonight, 7. We'll be there. I miss it. There to see Buddy Rogers, the Nature Boy, still out there. Along with his adoring fans. There he is. Former host of Rogers Corner. There he is. Buddy, we'll see you inside. We're going to follow out with the great Bob Staffa. Here he is catching the Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers, on film. There he is. Great one once again. Bob, Buddy, Bob, Buddy, Bob, Buddy. Great one. Billy and Buddy Rogers, the Nature Boy. The first World Wrestling Federation. Larry Sharp, everyone. Larry. Hello, Mula. Don't shake your hand. Oh, Mula. Hello, Fabulous Mula. How are ya? How are ya? Oh, God love you. God love you, sweet. Billy Graham. How are you? How are you? I like that shit. Thanks a lot. Billy Graham, let's go. He's up. He's walking. Hustler, Rip Rogers, everyone. Rip Rogers, everyone. Rip Rogers, there he is. Bye-bye, take it easy. Have fun, man. All right. He's going to take Hogan to school. Rumor has it, on the card. John Arezzi there, everyone. There he is. Closed room. There he is. He is gone. Absolutely. There he is. All right, there he is. Here with the official press passing. I don't want to get in there. Close to the door. Pardon me, guys. Get out of the way there. Look at this. There he is. There's the kneecap. Get up there to the glass. The former WCW and current National Wrestling Alliance heavyweight champion. Imagine that. Can you see his face? You can't kill him. His elbow. Hey, Rick. He's got his own personal room. That's not fair. Big Ric Flair fan's butt in the way. Beautiful. I waved to him. He's like, did he wave back? There he is. Hi, champ.
You can't give anything to nobody right now.
There he is, right there. There's the press confidentials. All right, there he is. Leave him. This is the Universal Wrestling Alliance. UW Universal Wrestling Alliance. They're a little close talk. Something like it all. One word separated.
Have your stuff ready. Have your stuff ready for the top.
They got Boom Fan? It's just like What are you doing? Filming it still. Oh, I'm supposed to get one of each. finishing recruit, everyone. Oh, thank you very much. God bless you. God love you.
Billy Graham. A legend. Can I get a picture?
Superstar Billy Graham, everyone.
Right.
Superstar Billy Graham, there he is. Alright. Mo. This is Mo.
D-E-R-E-K. Yeah, my picture with you and Johnny Rods in the dressing room that night.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. And who else was on? Frankie Longo, was that the manager's name that was with him?
I think so.
Frankie Longo or something. He's managing
Wasn't Mark Tindler?
Mark Tindler?
Yes, yep.
Did he get taken away? I heard he was shot.
Yeah, he died. He went.
Mark Tendler passed away, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. There he is.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Billy.
You guys have a good day.
Bye. Pretty Rogers, there he is. Over here, it's legendary Lou Thesz. There he is.
There we go. There's the one.
There he is. Lou Thesz, everyone. A legend in his own time. Former National Wrestling Alliance heavyweight champion. Still referred to on a weekly basis through the Thesz press on television across the country.
Thanks a lot. Ladies and gentlemen. He rules. Zero charge. There he is. It was.
All right, Billy, Fabulous Mule. There she is, the all-time great.
Thank you very much.
Oh boy.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Where are you from?
Syracuse, New York. We drove down to the Your picture.
Hey, I sure did. How you doing? Good to see you. Nice letter, too. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. How you doing, man?
You just know.
Meet your boy.
Let me up there, and then I'm going to turn around and get you.
Yeah, I'll talk to you. I'll give you a stick around. It'll be great.
Meet your boy, look. Yes, sir.
There you go, sir.
Legend in his own time, still a legend. There he is. There. Bob, nature boy.
Unopened.
How you guys doing, okay?
Yes, sir. Came all the way from Syracuse. You might remember you wrestled there against Terry Funk a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
The Fairgrounds Coliseum.
There.
Sure did. Out in the dirt.
Yeah, exactly. we doing, guys? Have your stuff ready, guys. Okay?
Hold on a second.
There's Millie. An NWA World Champion. We don't care where he goes, whether he loves us or hates us, but he loves us.
God love her. God love her. Look at them. Look at them cheekbones. Beautiful.
I'm so upset. You have to know I'm really mad at Delta. They lost my bags and mud in my attire and my yachting outfit.
Oh,
I went
it's
racing with Ted Turner after all.
all right.
You all need to come back though because I'll be in my real deal trying to get home.
Okay.
We're going to be here tomorrow. Anytime you want to get a hold of her, you get the No, we sent that to Polynesian. So in every way, shape, or form, she's not here yet. She's got to turn around. Derek. Hey, man.
With Jimmy Cornette. Derek with woman. It's a virtual who's who of wrestling. Derek. Oh. The exchange of the pen. There it is.
She had the exchange of the pens right
There it was. You got it all captioned on film.
This is the woman pen.
This is the
woman
the woman pen.
Yes.
I'm going to have a permanent scar burned on my retina today.
And I don't like this pen either.
That's not working.
All right. Exchange of the pen. I don't know what pen this is, but she's signing something.
Hey, remember that movie, Norman, is that you? Woman, is that you?
You never know this lady.
Derek, if you will. Derek.
Bill. Fallen Angel. Bill. Fallen Angel. He did lock up. Yes.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, sir. God Cornette.
What? Hey,
He is God.
lots of action movement. That's what you need on video.
He is God.
God brings that video camera in here. Everybody goes, you know, like, what do you do then with a daggum 35mm?
Sick? Are you sick, James E. Cornette?
No, I'm getting over it. Getting over it. I was
Same
sick
here.
last week. I'm
I
okay.
was sick all last week. I'm trying to get over it, but
Did you hear about Jeffrey Dahmer?
I didn't.
Yeah, he's involved in the trial and everything, so he's renting out his apartment. Comes complete with roommate, some assembly required. I showed up at one of his dinner parties late one time. Boy, did I get the cold shoulder. Who's this?
Camera's shaking. I'm dying.
Here, Pee Wee Herman's going to act as his own lawyer at the trial. He knows he can get himself off.
Oh my goodness.
Who's this one?
Still recording.
Pee Wee Herman TV show, Different Strokes.
Still recording.
Who's this one to?
To Bill.
Bill. To Bill. Just say Mo.
Yeah.
What happened to Johnny Valiant? That's what I need to know. I saw him. He's got pigs on his tie. He's got pigs on his tie.
This is my WCW tie. It's pictures of all the WCW executives.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's Herd.
Jimmy, can I come back and pose with you for a second?
Bobby Fulton? Okay. Hey, man, how you doing? Fine. I will give him to it.
Jimmy Cornette. Is that Bobby Eaton's twin brother? Or is that Bobby Eaton's twin brother?
Maybe he's a little closer to Meatloaf. What do you think?
Oh! Yes! There's Bobby. There they are. Bobby and Jimmy.
That all men are either AC or DC.
Yeah! The great Knox Baker! Along with the great Larry Sharp. The great Johnny Valiant.
John, you gotta talk to him. John, please. John, please, John. You need me as a manager. You need, I'm a great manager. John, for crying out loud, you be a... Dennis, where are you at? Will somebody help out, stop?
He's falling and he can't get up. What's his pants? What's his pants?
What are you didn't crack my shorts, so I didn't realize it. My pants off. Very bashful.
Oxbaker, ladies and gentlemen.
Great. How?
The World Championship Wrestling is not with them any longer. Have you, all the fans, and open it up to questions regarding World Championship Wrestling. Let me just adjust it. Is this on?
You don't need it, Jim.
Right, well, you know,
Greg, you didn't say
I think that everybody here realizes that you wouldn't be here if you didn't. Basically, you can hardly find professional wrestling. Oh, I just pulled. The kind that Billy Graham did, the kind that Buddy Rogers, who's still having dinner, did, the kind that most of our Ric Flair, most of the kids here today are I don't want to say the word relics, but I want to find holdovers from the time that we all remember when you could actually have professional wrestling. And you get glimpses of it with Dennis's show, you get glimpses of it with Joel's shows. But for the most part, I think everybody will agree that nobody's doing wrestling anymore. And that's why you all have to come here and watch tapes from Japan and go back in the archives and go to old Memphis and old Georgia and old anything because it's just not being done. It's a sad state. But in the case of Vince McMahon, at least you've got to say one thing, he's made a lot of money, but he did. It doesn't have any really professional to do it. But he's made a lot of money. On the other hand, you've got WCW, who couldn't, excuse me, grab their ass with both hands at first. And they not only have not made it, you know, somebody said to me last week, they said, we watched the WWF and we don't believe it, but at least we understand it. We watch WCW, we don't believe it, we don't understand it. And that comes when you have people who have taken over a company and don't have any respect for the wrestling, don't have any respect for the wrestling fans, don't have any respect for the wrestling business. They couldn't believe people actually watch this stuff. We'll really give them something to talk about. Now, people have turned their backs and they don't know this stuff. Because they just didn't realize it.
A little louder out here,
I don't understand how they people not not even bother to express their opinions as to why people like it, what they like to see, who they like to see, what they like to see.
Is he coming in? Champ coming in?
But you have a question and answer first? Yeah.
That was you coming in, Johnny?
Let me go first. Hey, Mike, bring me a drink.
I don't think there is any help for WCW because as long as it's owned by TBS, as long as it's run by executives who don't really give a crap about the wrestling business except to make some money, which now that was always resulted. But you have people doing it who knew how to do it right. They don't care anything about the wrestling business. They're not going to care about the money stuff that their executives.
I'll lean up there if you want me to.
That's the problem. And I don't think WCW is ever going to come back around as long as they're owned. And then, of course, you have Jim Herd. You know, I could say lots of things about him, but it's a mixed company, but I'll say that he's probably the most arrogant, obnoxious, stubborn dickhead.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. That's why I don't know.
I hope somebody's going to leave me right there.
How about Virgil? How about Virgil?
Everybody that came up to me did. A couple of weeks ago, Stan Lane and I, we sent a nice dead black bouquet of flowers to Jim Herd, and the card said our deepest sympathies on the WWE wrestling board. And hopefully one day we can sell one of those things, a big wreath, you know, when they send the ship off, and Bon Voyage across it, addressed after Herd, and you know, he'll be off front to somebody else's business.
I don't think when you just come right here. There's a picture.
Oh, sounds pretty clear.
Yes, sir.
So you're an IL, okay?
Yes, sir.
Leave this old man up there.
Good, buddy.
Re-educate our people, get back to wrestling. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen until they get started down.
And the wrestlers have been doing in PWA can't be seen any results. I said all along that most promotions coming along with people overdoses. We go outside the biggest one was Lanky. It's pure and simple violence on our part. We've got Jim Cornette getting violent on our part. Okay? Boy, is that horrible stuff. I think the total reality here is when you look at the condition of the business, there are wrestling fans, people who are hardcore fans who love it, who try to create some direction in this business aren't involved. I think it's that simple. I think the reality here is there are people in this room that would love to be referees. There are people in this room that would love to be promoters. There are people in this room that would love nothing more than help set up a ring before a show. There are people in this room who would love to be a wrestling type of person and do this kind of thing day in and day out. When I was an insurance investor who got out a year and a half ago, I've been able to create a livelihood and start to make some real money. And a lot of that just wanting to do it. I think the reality is, I always tell people that promotion is two-thirds motion. And if a lot of you would direct your energies that you're directing, even in this room, kind of protesting against what WCW is doing, etc., just stop going to the matches. If that's the way of getting your word across, or there's plenty of room in the York area and research out. Okay, get yourself involved. Try to start a promotion. See if you can bring it. You know, the independent promoters don't do anything different than anybody else can do. If they simply get on the telephone, make the right connections, and do it. So I just think fans have to get involved. Fans have to get in the front.
Yeah, Joe, do you think you could put on a show like you put on in Pennsylvania, in New York, with the New York State Athletic Commission? And what is the difference between the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission and New York State Athletic Commission?
There is no Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. The commission in Pennsylvania very simply bonds or licenses the promoter. The promoter has to carry a bond. It's required to have a doctor and an ambulance. But generally speaking, we don't have the kind of promotion or the commission that you have in New York. Yes, if we came to New York, you would have to do things a little differently. We would still get it done. I think, again, wherever you put a card on, we wrestle in Maryland, we wrestle in Delaware, where the commissions are stronger than Pennsylvania. We wrestle in New Jersey, and in one case, we had the New Jersey doctor stop one of our matches because it was too violent, which was fine. Because what that does is it affects and forces our product that we are a little different than the next guy. If we come to New York and we come to New York and put on our product, it will get as close to what we can do as possible. When they stop us, they stop us. But that's why people in New York have to come down to Philly to see some of the best violence in the world. And which is fine by me. We have September 21st card. We've got a bus coming down from New York. We've got a bus coming up from Baltimore. We've got people flying in from California, from Connecticut, from Rhode Island, from Virginia. I'm becoming a travel agent. We're booking some people flying in to see this stuff. If Philadelphia is the last place to see it, come on down. Or Puerto Rico.
Can I find that people are turning to your promotion because they stay up?
I don't know why they're turning the promotion, but they're turning in record numbers. And the key here is, if I would have, if you think back, we should, I guess 9 months ago, when we had that duel of Butcher versus
versus the original Sheik. This was a match that I promised on the radio 4, 5, 6 years ago, whatever it was. Here was the original Sheik, who's in his late 60s, Tony Evans against that duel in the late 40s. My main event had two guys with a total age of about 120, and it was one of the largest independent cards ever. And we're bringing them back September 21st in a barbed wire steel cage match, and my advance is 60 to 70% ahead of what my last show was.
Hey, Joe, let me tell you what's that, brother. I went to the movies about 4 months ago. I had Bruno Scott and Brad on play guitar.
Let me say something about what Joel said. I gotta agree, he has some doubt in my cards, but this whole thing is not about how violent wrestling can be. That is what the people in Philadelphia want, but the whole point is you can take a match that Thesz wrestled, or that Buddy Rogers wrestled, or that they wrestled against each other, where nobody used a closed fist, and it was a heck of a daggum athletic contest, and it sold the place out. And you're not seeing that anymore either. The fact is, nobody wants to see Brian Pillman wearing a Chiquita banana outfit. Brian Armstrong with feathers sticking out from under his armpit. Whether they're bleeding or not bleeding, they want to see him wrestle. They want to see something they can believe in. I asked Jim Hurd this one time. I said, do you like to go to football games? He said, yeah. I said, who's your favorite team? He said, the Raiders or somebody. I said, every time you go see them, you can, right? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I said, you always want to see them win. He said, right. I said, okay, how many times a year you go to see the circus? He said, once. I said, after that, you get tired of it, right? Yeah. So there you go. People only want to see a show once in a while. But people want to see athletics all the time because they don't know what's going to happen, they don't know who's going to win, and they enjoy that. Whether it's violence or winning. Right.
Spell it out for him clear enough. I mean, you said that and everyone in the room understood, but he probably didn't even know what you meant.
No, he had no. Well, he's still working on being able to hit the ground with his hat.
I don't think everybody wants to know is John Arezzi got a liver system or not. I know I do.
He wants to know if John Arezzi goes to the liver system. Really great. Yeah.
Tell us about Andre the Giant.
There wasn't a bar he couldn't drink.
Myself, funny you should ask. I grew up here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I don't know why I'm talking to this mic, but I got him very hollow. It's like marriages sometimes. Very hollow. But you've been a truck driver. Screw all this goddamn wrestling. But I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and my biggest idol was Buddy Rogers. You know, when I was a young guy growing up, and I'm not going way back now. I'm just going back a little bit. Buddy Rogers was my idol. That's the guy I like. Guys like him and Johnny Valentine come on the Super Bowl. I was right there. What I'm getting at is, you'd be surprised. It takes somebody sometimes to plant a seed. Whether it's education, or law enforcement, or politics, or whatever, or life. It takes somebody to inspire you. And I know goddamn well when I was a young-ass wrestler down there wrestling in Tampa, there was a guy out there twanging a guitar in the front row. It was Hulk Hogan. He come up to me so many times and said, you and Jimmy Valiant was the guy that inspired me. So you see, things it just keep going on and going on, kind of a snowball type effect. But whether it's good guys or bad, or whether you believe it or not, I'll tell you one thing, it's entertainment. Because reality is entertainment. You may have the Malachi papers, you may have Watergate, you may have the coup. Most recently in Moscow. It's entertainment. It's whatever holds your focus at the moment. Right. C-O-U-P, I don't know why the hell it went that bad. There's a Japanese guy Kind of fact, that Jeff, he's laughing his ass off. You know what that means, cool, right? It's not merci beaucoup either, is it? Really, the bottom line I'm trying to leave you all here is the simple fact is that certain men in this room have left a definite impression in professional wrestling. I may be like a goddamn pimple on a goddamn elephant's ass. You know, when he walks past you, you never even seen it, but it's there, you know. I fortunate enough to have been on TV and maybe a couple WrestleMania shows. Just as a matter. But there's quite a few people in this room and throughout New York and maybe LA and Texas and Japan, Maui or whatever. They kind of know that Johnny Valiant, Jimmy Valiant, and Johnny V and Beefcake and Bruno and around down the line was kind of a part of their living room at one time or not. It's just so funny how you change the baton of time. Who says next to Buddy Rogers right up to Bruno Sammartino, and the list goes on and on. Stan Stasiak, Pedro Morales, and right up to the Iron Sheik and Hulk Hogan will lose to somebody else. Whether you're a golfer, a baseball player, a football player, a politician, there's just always somebody to take your place. Rock and roll with Bo Diddley, and oh, the list goes on and on and on. Walk around the clock, Bill Hennig in the Comets, American Bandstand. It's just amazing. Sports with Mickey Mantle and Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth and Don Mattingly's haircut. It's just how things happen in life. It's goddamn truth. Talk about a guy getting signed for $25 million from where I'm from in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Danny Marino. And an IQ of a flying ant, the guy's signed an ant. $25 million to play pro football for 5 years. Strange world out here. I think the common denominator, the same thing, man. They all want to go make the best of themselves. They have a common focus out there. They're dedicated. They gave their life. And I'll tell you what, it's a pleasure being with guys like Buddy Rogers, Lou Thesz, Billy Graham. Mr. Sharp, too. It's nice being with y'all. Of course, Bruno enjoying people here. He's from my hometown, Pittsburgh, PA. He was kind of an idle mind, too, in those days. And in summation, Mr. Cornette, too, and Ric Flair, I really don't want to really forget anybody. But it's a combined effort, which you really see on TV and hotels or airports or whatever. Arenas. That's our pleasure to always show up and give you a report.
One more, Johnny.
That was good. I thought he was going to start crying any second.
Johnny for president. There's only a few things that I'd like to say, and number one is the first thing that I have to agree with Johnny Valiant. I consider myself very fortunate. The town that I came from, Foxborough, New Jersey, one town, was the hub of professional wrestling. That was where Vince McMahon seniors, top men, lived to make it to their town in the most convenient fashion. Unlike most kids who go to football games, baseball games, hockey games, basketball games, the very first sporting event my father took me to was professional wrestling. It was in Camden Convention Hall. I really had only seen it on television, and I wasn't sure what I was going to. But when I see Nature Boy Buddy Rogers walk to the ring, the wrestling Broadway, I turned around to my father and I said, that's what I want to be when I get big. Unfortunately, for me, I wasn't that good, but it was enough inspiration for me to get in the business. And it led me into a business that for 17 years, I was able to fulfill my goals. On the way home that night, we stopped at a restaurant in our hometown, and Wild Red Berry was there. That could be a foreign name to a lot of people. But that man told me, I went up to him, I said, Dad, can I go talk to him? He said, listen, what do I have to do in order to be a professional wrestler? He said, son, you need 10 years of amateur experience. Now, I don't know whether that was to blow me off for 10 years or whether it was a legitimate reason. But I took his advice, and it worked well for me. Not only paid my way through college,
but it did get me in the business of professional wrestling. And to think from the time that I'm in 7th grade until I'm now 41 years old and retired from the business, to see the day that I could sit with Buddy Rogers, Thesz, Superstar Billy Graham.
Oh, good.
I even saw them Cornette. No, not really. Both. The point that I'm trying to make is that what I want everyone to keep in mind, and Buddy and I started a professional wrestling school together called Champion's Choice, which became Buddy Rogers School of Professional Wrestling, which later got changed to the Monster Factory. Is that the sign on the marquee says professional wrestling. And Dennis Carluso, my partner, when we're done at the end of the night, what we do is we ask people on the way out the door one thing: did you get your money's worth? Because that's what's important to us. It's not the violence. What we want people to see is professional wrestling, and we want a man to walk out of there with his little girl and his little boy and his wife, and everyone to say, we had a hell of a time, and it didn't cost as much as it did to go to the carnival or go to the circus, and we had a good time. And I think that if wrestling would get away, the WWF, I don't want to knock them. Vince McMahon has done wonders for professional wrestling, because what it's done is he's made it so much bigger than life that it's opened doors for small promoters like ourselves to get young talent and start farm teams. Just like baseball is so popular, there's a AAA, a AA, a single A. Football, you know, there's the semi-pro league, and that's exactly what independents are to professional wrestling. And we try to be a leader in wrestling. What we want to stick to is wrestling. So when you go to a professional wrestling match, not only do we hope that you get our money's worth, but we hope that someday in our hearts that you will see a future Thesz, Buddy Rogers, Superstar Billy Graham, Ric Flair, or someone that has actual wrestling ability, regardless if they have 23-inch arms, a 22-inch waist, and an 80-inch chest. If they've got a pot belly, and they can go out there and entertain your family and make you feel good inside, like when you leave a Disney movie, then we've created what we wanted to create, and that's to send a wrestling fan home happy.
That's partially, in major part, due to newsletters like the Wrestling Observer and Dave Meltzer and others who tried to follow in his footsteps. So I know that the radio show that I do, we try to also provide the fans information that it's hard to get. It's an outlet information, really. If you want professional wrestling, you want to know everything about it. In the old days, I hate to use that expression, but there was not a radio show like Pro Wrestling Spotlight. There was not a Wrestling Observer newsletter. What do you feel about the newsletters that are out today that talk about inside aspects of the business, radio talk shows like mine, and talk to you about what's going on in professional wrestling, analyze it, criticize it at times? It wasn't like this a long time ago. Billy, I'd like to start with you.
Well, thank you, Sean. The first thing I'd like to say is thank you for inviting me into the program. It's really been a pleasure to meet all these fans and to be part of your okay, first thing I'd like to do is letters and the change that these people are, you know, that's the consequence of being in the business of wrestling, you know. I mean, that's to me, that's the way the chips are falling. Years ago, I remember very, very tight, very close, like when I was champion in '77, for instance, just going back that far, 14 years. it's so different, but all of a sudden it's opened up, and hey, that's the way the chips fall. I mean, you know, whether you like it or not, that's the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be for a long time, because people are journalists, Dave and Meltzer and the other gentlemen that are involved in this type of stuff, the radio shows. I mean, you people are journalists, and you're investigating, and hey, that's just the way it goes. I tell you, it's brought a lot of insight. I know a lot of people really despise it. You know, I mean, they hate it. You know, but myself personally, you know, I just think, well, that's just another change. It's not to be a wrestler, you know, and that's just the way it goes. And if you don't like it, you don't have to put up with it. Just don't read it or don't listen to it. Don't watch it. But it definitely has a major effect. It's affecting Vince McMahon. The big cheese in this whole ball game is affecting that person himself. John Arezzi, this man Dave Meltzer here, and their colleagues are affecting Vince McMahon of the World Wrestling Federation and himself. Dave Meltzer is here to stay. It's really just about the best I can do.
Well, many years ago, prior to the syndicated newsletter that Dave has, each territory or each major city would print their own program, whether it was weekly or monthly, whenever they had a major show coming up. And they had sort of an amateurish newsletter.
No, Joe.
Of course, on their own little territory, their own little ballgame. But looking at the broad scope that what Dave is covering with his newsletter, it's really been a boon to wrestling because he's been able to get the information throughout the world, get all the information from everywhere. And we keep a pretty good pulse on wrestling. I'm involved in wrestling for a number of years, but one of the Dave's newsletter keeps me up with it. I would lose a lot of the information that he has in there. The local production, local programs, whether it's giving it down to us, looking at their things, I'll be right back. Something like that.
Seriously, no kidding aside, a lot of people, a lot of people, seriously, I'll say this, than anybody else. I've heard a lot of, this man get a lot of heat about his newsletter, and I've never been one to back down, like, you know, hide in the shadow where Dave Meltzer's name was mentioned. Those guys were very helpful to me. I consider him a very good friend of mine, one of my best friends. His newsletter gives a lot of information which are helpful to promoters. He lets you know who's available, who's leaving, who's going there. And if you have a question about it, he's willing to answer it for you, and I respect his knowledge and accept his knowledge. That's he's a good guy, and you know, whatever. I think the newsletter's great.
Well, I'm gonna stand there. I think personally, and to be honest with you, it would be better if the business was not exposed like it is today. I think more people will still be coming to the matches. Because we've got to realize, and I'm including myself among this, that most people don't get into wrestling the art form that we see that it is. They just want to know, is it real or is it fake or whatever. You know, I mean, that's the majority of people across the country. If people still believe, they would still be coming back to the arenas time after time after time until they saw the guy win that they wanted to see win. However, that ain't going to happen anymore. But a lot of people sit there and blame Dave Meltzer and blame newsletters. He is sending this thing out to maybe 5,000 people across the country, maybe not that many, that are going to go to the matches anyway because they're interested. Jim Hurt and Vince McMahon and all these other dumb shits put it in the front page of the New York Times and it gets dropped down on 100 million daggum doorsteps of people that don't give a shit. I always knew it was. I ain't ever going to go see that shit. So instead of blaming Dave and blaming a few people who are going to send out stuff to all you guys who are obviously going to come anyway, we should blame the stupid people running TBS, and Vince McMahon, to me, in my opinion, made a stupid mistake, put it all over the newspapers, because they brought the message that this was all a show, as he termed it, to people who really didn't give a shit about wrestling in the first place, and that's just going to cement the fact they're never going to go. So if we're going to blame somebody, let's blame the people that did it the worst and exposed it the most, and that's the daggum guys running the thing in the first place.
Every Monday, that's the first thing they do. They help screw up their own promotion by saying, this is all a bunch of shit. Let's do opposite of what he says he's going to do and screw up. And they want to screwing everything up. But like you said, 5,000 people read the thing. You know, they put a lot of blame on him for exposing the business and wrecking it. And he goes in front of his...
They put the blame on him because he exposes the way that they screw things up.
He gets back on the front of the state senate in New Jersey, sends his wife off to Delaware. Everybody pro wrestling's fixed. It's entertainment. You know, and they rag on him when he tells them to do it. You know.
There is one positive thing that came out of that. Over the years that I've been in the business, the first question that a person from the media would ask me 10 years ago is it fake? Nobody in the last 3 to 4 years has asked me if wrestling's fake because nobody cares. What they care about is the quality of the show, the attendance, how much the marketing is there, what kind of money is being made by the promotion. That's why the Wall Street Journal has done stories on the Monster Factory, the New York Post, the New York Times, the Philadelphia Inquirer. What they want to know is, they want to know about the industry itself. Unfortunately, it was taken from people that had the technique and the quality, like Buddy, like Lou, like Strangler Lewis, and like all the people that when they left, I can remember being a kid watching Buddy Rogers and Bobo Bazell go 2 out of 3 falls, and in the 3rd fall when Buddy lucked out, and I was a Buddy Rogers fan going, oh my God, I don't know how he's going to beat him next week. I got to get my dad to take me back there to find out.
Let me just hang in here for a second. Look, I'm working my way back out here. Let me just tell you guys 1 second. You talk about the land of opportunity. I'm just poor old Tom Solomon from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, wrestling for John L. Solomon, also put him up to Johnny Valiant. If I can be here in a room like the Buddy Rogers and Lou Thesz, there's got to be hope for you all out there somewhere too, man. Let me just say this in summation, just on my part, real quick. I flew with a guy one time. I started talking to this fellow. He was very well attired, obviously. He doesn't have a real big name. In fact, I don't even know his name. But he told me a long time ago he was a big ass with the circus. He said, you know what? Half the battle in life is your appearance. Yeah. Your appearance. What'd you look like? I said, what's the other half? He says, it's what people think you are. In other words, if you keep that in mind in your life, as you go about your life, and I'll probably talk to myself right now out loud, I go through about my life, 50% is what I look like, and the other 50% is what people think I'm like. It's home with politics, your dentist, your attorney, your lawyer, your wife, your boyfriend, or your boss, or whatever. That's what people perceive you as. It's what people really, they look at you. What do they see? Well, even professional wrestling is a very case in point. It hits home with all of us. What do you look like? The guy with the big arms and the guy with the big tan face, or this sinister-looking guy, or whatever. Man, he's packing the wall. Well, maybe he is. Now, let me just say this, that I think one of the greatest things that gives us a chance to voice an opinion accordingly. And that's what separates us from places like Russia or whatever, where they can't really do that. Only until the last couple of days, with this coup, with this perestroika, really, it's true, so we can voice ourselves. We can turn channel from here, channel 2 to channel 4 to 53 or cable or whatever. And we can be ourselves. If you like professional wrestling, fine. You can watch Ted Turner, you can watch Vince McMahon, you can watch some of the other independents. Or you can just go in and rent a video of Misery or whatever. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. That gives us a choice, because unlike animals, we do have an option. And I'll tell you what, I'm just very proud to be here with these champions right here to my immediate left. I thank John Arezzi for having the time and consideration to invite yours truly right here. And I'll tell you what, I'm very anxious to look forward to tomorrow. I'm very proud of myself being here today with the likes of a Mae Young, with a fabulous Moolah, and just right on down the line, no matter who they are out there. Oh, and whatever your eyes, oh, I never saw them on TV that much. I never saw this. Let me tell you something right now. There's not a town in the United States of America that these fellas have not appeared in. Well, many years before a lot of you folks out there were even born. That they didn't have the advantage of NBC TV. They didn't have the advantage of VCRs. They did not have the advantage of recording these matches and recording them again and selling them and redistribution. I remember when I was a young kid in 8th grade in Pittsburgh growing up, you saw a picture of Buddy Rogers or a Johnny Valentine in the magazine, and man, that was it. That was it. I mean, that was just all you had to focus upon because it was the only show in town. And it goes to show how great these guys are, Thesz to my immediate left. That's why you saw a guy like Billy Graham emerge. That's why you saw guys like Hulk Hogan later on. 20 years ago emerged. They're no better, they're no worse. These fellas here to my immediate left are exactly, you're looking right here, and I think we should just give them the biggest round of applause. That's the heartland of America right there. And I'm not just that whistle Dixie. That is. Because who did they look to inspire them? Where are they? Throw me a name. There was no name out there. They were just themselves. They were just themselves. The name really doesn't mean all that much. I mean, you may be this guy or that guy, or oh, you get a bottle of bleach out, or you get those boots all sashayed up, or whatever, or get a nice tan. That doesn't mean nothing. Because if that was the case, we could all be like clones. One after another, just go to a tanning parlor and be nice and tan. Or go and pack the steroids and guys and just be another one after another. If that was the case, everybody right here could be a pro wrestler. Black, white, Chinese, Oriental, Puerto Rican, or whatnot. But that's not the case. It takes that certain cut above. And then you go ahead and you put a microphone in front of somebody, and then they really come out. So that's really what we're looking at. Chime in with Billy Graham. I do want to thank John Arezzi and my peers here, young and old alike, to thank you all for even turning out and asking for autographs and perhaps even remembering me. And I even remember these guys. That's what's so astonishing. It really, really is. It really is. You really don't know. To me, I'm getting paid a few bucks for coming here and whatnot, and my God, I would certainly, or should be, even to give out the seat right here sitting next to some of those guys out there. I mean, tell you that's true. You know, just kind of digressing here, you know, I went to the military with a guy a long time ago in Waynesboro, Virginia, called Fishburne Military Academy. Boy, that was some military school down there. Staunton to the left, Richmond up there 100 miles, Culpeper, Virginia, whatever. All these redneck yo-yos would make their way down there, and they were kind of a social cripple. They couldn't find their place in life, and they had to wind up going to a military school. Growing up in Pittsburgh, I find myself there too. Played football, basketball, baseball, wrestled a little bit. My old teammate was Vince McMahon. That's true. Vince and I put on the first but an amateur wrestling show in front of all the cadets down there. I think Vince did. Yeah. I guess Vince always had that kind of a predisposition in his mind about wrestling, seeing his father was in that profession. I'll tell you what, it's a funny thing. They say money changes people, and I can probably chime in there a little bit here and there, other people I met. But you have to remember the grassroots of life is fans. I love baseball, I love different sports. I started out as a fan. You people obviously are fans, you're right here. In summation, really, what I really want to say is the fact that it's my pleasure to be here with these gifted athletes, young and old, and thanking John Arezzi and for the opportunity here. Y'all take care. Look forward to see you tomorrow night.
Yeah. Yeah, they're right. Tom Sullivan.
What I'd like to do now is just any questions for anyone on the panel. I'd like to open it up. Larry?
Yeah, could Carmine tell us a little bit about how he started the Wrestling Eye magazine?
I just started as a photographer for the magazine. The old editor, Mike Balloon, just happened to unexpectedly pass away. And I just...
Have you cut his brake lines?
Good job. I'll tell you what, I not necessarily a question, but rather than voicing my opinion out loud and showing a lack of respect for any of the individuals up here, what I would like to do is to propose a question. That is, the way that professional wrestling has changed so much, of course, we're trying to, past hour here, try to discuss this in depth, but of course, wrestling has changed so much in the days of Mr. Rogers and Mr. Thesz. It's like night and day as it is right now. And you think, Jimmy, you think that quite possibly on a mainstream level, I'm not talking about what Mr. Goodhart does, which Mr. Carluzzo does, which I most definitely commend because I love wrestling, but can that be reversed? In other words, do you actually, does anyone here think that professional wrestling can actually be viewed once again as a respectable spectacle?
Yeah, it wouldn't be no spectacle to it because the basic human emotions do not change. People like to laugh, people hate to cry, but they do. People get mad, people get happy. You present, a reunion arena was sold out. They had a card in Memphis, they had a card in Continental, they had a card in Florida, and everybody had made the effort to leave their home, go out, buy a ticket, park their car, and pay to see wrestling. And there wasn't a cartoon bunch of bullshit in the bunch of it except your normal wrestling angles, which everybody enjoyed because they liked seeing it. But it wasn't making everybody look like a bunch of clowns. And if you go 20 years farther back, then Buddy Rogers and Lou Thesz were selling out St. Louis like we've said already 15 times, but they daggone did it. Okay? And everybody else in the business at that time was drawing big crowds. Nobody in the history of professional wrestling, the live crowds have never been as low as they are today. Am I right or am I wrong? Across the country. What I'm saying is Vince McMahon's got the only show in town and people are going to see that stuff just because they like that. But the people who want to go and see wrestling matches, they've got nowhere to go, so they're staying goddamn home.
Very small percentage.
Very small percentage. There was 100,000 people at wrestling matches 10 years ago. Now there's 5,000 in one night and shit on the rest.
It made the business. It's a cartoon now. And I think possibly
you're agreeing with me now.
It's going to have to be accepted about what it is right now.
But in 1963, if Buddy can correct me if I'm wrong, in Kaminsky Park, there was, what, 63,000 people? 38,000 people. It was the largest crowd of all time. And there was nobody getting television in Florida. 42,000. I mean, and there was a guy that was on top, and that was done because people really wanted to know who was going to win, Pat O'Connor or Buddy Rogers. Now when people watch a pay-per-view, they don't go to the Garden anymore because they know there's not going to be a title change in Madison Square Garden. They got to wait to see a pay-per-view or something big. Right. When these fellas wrestled, they went to see who was going to win the match. And I think that's... So now that
And I'm not just talking about classic wrestling. These guys were classic wrestlers. Superstar Billy Graham over there was more of a flamboyant showman, but he wasn't a daggum guy that went out there and looked like a complete moron like they're making guys do today. And in Tennessee, everybody knocked Tennessee. Tennessee never did this outrageous bullshit that TBS is doing now, but everybody knocked Tennessee. But the people there that went to the matches believed in their heroes, and they hated the daggum guys that they hated, and they wanted to see them fight. And they believed what they were doing when they did it.
So why did they go? They went because they wanted to see certain guys win and certain guys lose. They went for the basic reasons why most people go to see sports. They don't go to see Randy, Mary, Elizabeth. They don't go to see Sid Vicious, referee.
Obviously they are. Because the Slam Sports is going to make millions of dollars. Because the people who are the attractions.
But again, who is going to those guys?
ain't going to make $1 million. What I'm saying is that Vince has the only show that anybody can go to see because nobody else is doing wrestling. The WWF is always going to draw and always going to make money, and people are always going to want to watch it. But there's a lot of other people that want to see other stuff that just don't have anywhere to go. That's the point. Sure, overexposure of this kind, I wouldn't want to see my mother if she was on TV doing the shit that they're doing. You know, Joel, Dennis, some independents, and there's nothing else. And in Memphis, they're still doing a little bit, but they ain't got no talent. Here's what I'm saying. I'm going to say one more thing, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to let everybody else talk, because I'll just get carried away.
And then we're going to box it out.
If, for example, you go to see a magician, you've heard this one, you go to see a magician, and he makes a battleship disappear, and you believe that he made that battleship disappear, then you're going to go every single time because it's the dadgummest thing you've ever seen in your life. Now, if you think there's a trick to this, but I don't know what it is, then you're going to go see that guy make that battleship disappear every single time you can until you figure it out. But if somebody comes up to you and he said, okay, they slide the mirror up here, the smoke comes out, this is how he does it, the whole thing, you're going to go back one more time, you're going to say, yep, that's how he does it, and then you're going to wait for him to make the Statue of Liberty disappear, something bigger and better. That's what they've done now. Nobody believes what's going on, so they go to see one match, and then they wait for something bigger and better, and if it takes a year, that's how long it is before they come back. And that's the whole problem. They don't come anymore to see people win and lose and to see something they can believe in. They come to see a daggum show just like they go to see John, and I'll tell you something else about John Wayne movies. People go, well, all the Indians John Wayne shot weren't really dead. Well, yeah, but they didn't get up while John was riding off in the sunset and pat each other on the back. They exposed the shit on their own program. That's what I'm saying. Good night.
Come on, JV.
What's going to change that? Hey, wait, let me say one thing here. Subject for a second.
Okay.
What's going to change, though? A lot of people out here are never going to have the opportunity again to see 3 former world champions.
Everyone can have a chance to report the something I want to post today. And this moves on something you just said, Jim. People will go back to the arenas when there's something to see, perhaps. Ric Flair, most likely is going to join World Wrestling Federation and take on Hulk Hogan. Dave, how do you think this match? First of all, is anybody here going to go? Would you pay ticket to see that match?
The Flair leaving was, I don't want to say the final nail in the coffin, but it was a sizable nail in the coffin of World Championship Wrestling, because to the general public, and I'm not talking about the people in this room, they look at it, and this is not what happened, but they look at it as, geez, this company was not, was not willing to spend the money, was not willing to go the extra mile to keep its best wrestler. And Vince McMahon got him. They assume Vince McMahon paid more money, and it's like, well, whoever pays more money obviously has the best product, which isn't so, but that's what the people will look at. And so therefore, I think it really, for a lot of people's perceptions, it was like, if they had a question, it kind of removed the big question.
Let me ask you a question, Dave.
Yes.
Do you think that the popular perception now among the average wrestling fan is that World Wrestling Federation is the major league of wrestling?
Absolutely.
A casual fan.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, how do you think that situation can be corrected? Change.
Well, it would take someone with a ton of money and a ton of patience to do something completely different. And even then, of course, there's no guarantee, but it would take a lot of time. Yeah,
The fans would have to be re-educated if they're not going to go see bullshit. They're going to go see
You're on one final point. Do you think Ric Flair is going to have Ric Flair quality matches in the WWF? Or is he going to become like Rick Steamboat, who vanishes? I don't know if you've seen his matches, but I look at Rick Steamboat in the WWF, and I don't see Rick Steamboat. I see some dopey guy in a dragon costume.
It's Vince McMahon's call.
Right.
Whatever he wants.
Dave, if you ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave, it seems like Vince McMahon has the most money to control these wrestlers with, though. Say if I was Ric Flair, right? I would, I'd probably go where the money, any
athlete's going to go where the money is. The whole point is you need
For someone to compete with a Vince McMahon, you need someone, obviously, and this is in any business, you need someone with the money to be able to battle it. If you don't have any money, you can't go up against someone who has all this money and expect to win. It's just impossible.
It's kind of sad, though, because, you know, like Mr. Cornette was saying, you know, want to see quality, real wrestling promotion. It seems like Titan Sports, they can control whatever they want because they have the money.
Yeah, but you know the funny thing? 20 Vince McMahons don't have half the money of one Ted Turner.
But Ted Turner doesn't give a damn shit.
That's right, but that's the point. Vince McMahon's not the richest guy in the world. He's not even the richest guy in the wrestling business. But the other guy doesn't care about wrestling.
He's a marketing genius.
The only one who does it right.
He's the only one who markets it right.
He can do what he wants.
But do you think the wrestling fan can be re-educated? I remember when I was growing up,
Absolutely.
and I watched Buddy Rogers wrestling. To me, the most important thing in my life when I was a young kid was hoping that Buddy Rogers would have the most. Only because that was that's what he wanted.
The only thing that has to happen is instead of the kids taking the parents got to start taking the kids again like they used to.
Damn right. They can be. What you want to take? You want to take the kids to a show where the Ultimate Warrior strips him to say she was Terry? I took my 7-year-old.
No, I'd rather let him stay home and watch HBO where there's all kind of shit going on, guys getting their heads cut off. If you're doing your job as a parent, a kid is not going to get harmed by seeing Sherry's boobs hanging out. If you're doing your job as a parent, a kid's not going to get harmed by anything he sees on television or by anything he sees in the movies.
You can re-educate the fans, and the simple truth of that is Walt Disney every so many years comes out again with 101 Dalmatians, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And the new kids go to see that, okay? And they're educated that that's what they want to see. If you take a wrestling promoter and go back to the basics of the Thesz and the Buddy Rogers and the quality matches, and you did it long enough, which would take a lot of money and a lot of time, eventually those kids would say, that WWF is entertainment, but here's wrestling. Now, Dad, if I want to go see entertainment, take me to the WWF. But if I want to know who's really the better man, then take me down the corner and see Buddy Rogers or Thesz or whoever they're on. That's right.
That's good.
Last week you watched Front and back. Right. Yeah. That was a technical wrestling match. Yeah. That was basic wrestling. That was wrestling that Thesz, Buddy Rogers, guys used to do like that. It was an old NWA style match. And after that match, I had people coming up and say, when are you going to bring these guys back? And we get more guys coming back. I guess this is an old NWA match. We liked it. We liked the technical wrestling. We haven't seen it in so long. It's great. You know, I feel like...
Well, why does Vince then draw the crowds that he draws?
Because he's straightening the kids.
If you made each and every one of his wrestlers stay in the ring and stick to holes, nobody will go to the WWF, because that's what will tell you when someone is a real wrestler. If you promote wrestling and you say, do not leave the ring, do not do any crotch shots, do not rake the eyes, and use wrestling holds, you will find out within the first 3 minutes whether the man working for you is a wrestler or a showman. Okay? And then the wrestler is the guy that I choose to have back on my card, because sooner or later those people will like that style. And in a small way, Dennis and myself are trying to re-educate people of what professional wrestling.
Okay, we get a lot of questions from out there.
I don't get a chance to show it. Is there anybody who you particularly look at as possible hopes for the future based on your particular taste or your perception when you've been in this business for as well, you know, as long as you have?
There are some good wrestlers out there, yes, but also you can't do it. And but the credibility situation, the gentleman talked about, he let everything up. His people to observe and watch what they're watching now. Back to wrestling. The group in Japan that we're all familiar with now, or UWF, and they said they even know some of the other wrestling that were doing right is not real. Everything is fake. So they went ahead and Meltzer and their people know it's just fantastic in so many places. They were not having a time. And I guess maybe it's like saying why they might think of it. But I knew that most of the boys were people that and we're drawing some fantastic houses. It's incredible that they have well, we've got good time, my time, talking about people like Lewis, the great Dom of Pakistan, Schmidt, Dutch, the original Funny Koch, many names that we come up with. We get an argument from a lot of people because there are about 10 or 15 people that they mentioned that were top wrestlers. Unless we could sit there and watch them go ahead and go back and go ahead and be pretty tough to say which one would be the best. Children do relate to the rest of the Hasbro model.
I just have a sharp question. On one day's card, there's a match that I think is going to be overshadowed, which will without doubt be the best match of all night. Kurt Hennig against Bret Hart. Who do you like?
To be honest with you, if I would have to pick one of the all-time great matches of wrestlers right now, other than Randy Savage and Steamboat, it's going to be that type of a match, and it's like, how can you pick a favorite? You have probably two of the best 5 wrestlers now working in the business.
Maybe that's like Vince's way of trying to throw in a little basic wrestling?
No, because I've seen those two kind of wrestlers go out and have a 4-minute match that was a stinkeroo because of a time limit or a commercial or a pay-per-view time pause. Because they're booked doesn't mean it's going to be a great match. But the potential is there for it to be one of the greatest matches to ever take place.
Okay, just another couple of questions.
Hennig's hurt real bad.
Real quick, just get back to the question of issues. So who's showing up to the cards and why they're showing up in big numbers to Vinny's cards. But again, if you got
okay, that's a good point. But when I was 9, 10 years old, there was no Vince McMahon, and every kid in my neighborhood went to wrestling in San Jose every other Wednesday night, and there were a lot more people going to wrestling 15 years ago than are today. So, you know, yeah, Vince is the best promoter in wrestling in the United States right now. I would give him his due. But I don't think that he's the ultimate genius that knows all about wrestling, because if he was, there would be more people going to wrestling today than there were 8 years ago in 1983.
What I was gonna finish off with was, you got like Joel's, and I saw Joel's card on what is it, in July, and I saw Larry Sharp's last week. I'm telling you, the majority of true fans go to those matches. They were both fantastic cards.
The problem is with that is,
you can't reach.
It takes a lot of money and a lot of time to promote one of those cards. I don't have a lot of money, Dennis doesn't have a lot of money, and we both have other businesses that we have to take care of. If you had a bankroll, and you could just go out and do the advertising and marketing that Vince McMahon does, which gets back to what we said earlier. You got to re-educate the people. That's what we're doing in our own small way, but you can only do it a little bit at a time because it takes so much time and so much work to cover the nut of that show. You just can't do it every week, unfortunately. But that's what we would hope that wrestling would return to.
Believe me, I hope we
because you were a heel, you were one of my heroes, because I like the bad guys. We would root for you and against you at the same time, you understand? But we understood what it was, about the people that I grew up with, but we still loved it. We go to the shows, we watched it on television as much as we could. Today, the heels that are presented in most cases in a major organization, you really couldn't care about. Some of them every 2 weeks are switching back and forth, and you didn't see last week's show. Remember which side they're on. How would you evaluate the heels of today in creating heat in terms of their showmanship and the interviews? I remember the interviews we used to have, and Bobby Davis used to have, equal classics. On the other hand, I watched some tapes recently in some old matches.
art of wrestling has left the field. You see very, very what we call blue and eye wrestling today. So stop and think. And you take that out of the field, you start using clotheslines as holes and 2x4s out in the lobby. Burying the guy in sand and stuff a snake down his throat. I'll tell you, fellas, I'll be very honest with you. I know by being bitter in this business, you get nowhere. I know if you knock any office, you get nowhere. It just bounces off them, you know. A guy like Dave, pardon the expression, if he pounds on him long enough, he'll drill him a new ass. Good, Dave, you keep doing it, pal. If you and I just talk about it, we do nothing about it, but if we collectively all got together, we went out and we spread the word, hey man, we're not going back to the matches until we see matches that we like. How long do you think McMahon would continue doing what he's doing? Stop and think. Luke says, now, all right, my man here didn't come into the area where Lou and I did. Lou came before me, but we were still in the third. And the best part of it is, in the last 50 years, Lou and I laid the foundation for this business. And anything McMahon's running on today, pal, he's running on our foundation. And, you know, there is no building, there is no home in this world that's any stronger than the foundation. So remember, you're looking at two guys that I feel we're still around, we're still alive, we can talk about it, thank God. And this is what I'm getting at. McMahon will see the day where that sign out front that he calls wrestling, he's going to have to lay off. It might take, like Dave said, 10 years, 5 years to go, but it will come. Lou and I have lived long enough in this business to see cycles turn around. We sit wrestling down. I was around my 8th, 9th match, and Jess McMahon came into the dressing room, and this is what he told us, fellas. He says, you know, we got to reduce the payoffs from $10 to $8 a match. Would you believe that? Right? From $10 to $8 a match. So when you see the payoffs get down, when you see the monies dwindle, man will make a lot of sense. For me to sit here and knock McMahon, you know, all right, there's some things I say like to knock him today. Just have a joke. McMahon knows he's doing wrong. Jesus Christ, what worse could this world do than take the NWA and just mutilate it? Man, when I think back, Wild Bill Longson and Lou Thesz worked their butts off to put the NWA where it is today. And here, they knock it out of the box in what, 4 or 5 years? Nothing. 8 months. And, you know, God forbid, I don't care what anybody in this room says or thinks, I love Ric Flair. 1979, George Scott asked me to come down and help Rick out in Charlotte. Man, I run. I love Ric Flair. I always will.
All right.
Ric Flair, better watch. You better use that little CYA when it comes to dealing with him. That is cover your ass. Boy, you'll tune him up.
I think on that note, that's a great point.
We got half the field over here.
Certainly has been a weekend of champions. We'll have another day tomorrow. We'll fill some autographs and other great things happening. We're going to auction 2 o'clock in the ballroom and be able to bid on some great artifacts of the champion's career. I just want to thank the entire panel and thanks for everyone for staying in the hot room and wait for a while for everything to get underway. Thanks, everybody.
Try and get yourself.
Coming up.
We're gonna try and get an interview with Star Billy Graham right now. Our man in the field,
Wayne Coleman.
Wayne Johnson. Howdy, Will. Here he comes. Here comes the stupid star now. Well done. Good interview, Bill.
Thank you. Superstar Graham. This is Bill Johnson from Pro Wrestling USA.
Superstar Graham loves Billy, everyone. Billy and Billy. Just say more.
Yeah, we got a lot of up and coming interviews coming up.
I need Cornette. I need to get on camera with Cornette.
Let's take you right up now and see
Jimmy Cornette. We're going up there right now.
And it's going to show because you're going to be the shits of what you do. So, I just think that eventually somebody's going to come around and start doing wrestling again. I don't know how long it'll be, but they will. And so people now that are just starting out or just thinking about getting started, they have a pretty good shot for the future. I ain't worried. I ain't thinking about, putting in an application at Denny's yet. You can always go back to PW.
When Dave Meltzer was talking about that he's throwing the best for the youngsters. Why are they trying?
Yeah, we can give you an address.
Because these
get your address.
Instead of, I'll give you an example. When I went to wrestling when I was 13 years old,
So we got a bunch, we've been taping everything, right here.
Okay. Yeah, what we're going to do so they couldn't have expensive tickets. But where the difference is, if the guys lived in Nashville, they hopped in their car, they drove 180 miles, and they were in Louisville, and they wrestled. You rented the building, and you didn't pay for television back then, because the TV stations were glad to put a wrestling show on and sell the time. So the only thing that they had to do was rent the building and pay the rest of the angles. And they didn't have any airplane transportation, they didn't have any big contracts, etc., etc. So you had regional promotions. You had $6, $7, $8 tickets at most. You had, affordable parking, etc. And you had wrestling every week or every 2 weeks. And now you've got it once every blue moon from a company that's got to spend $20,000 to fly the guys to your town to have it in the first place. And the dumb shits are paying for television. Well, not with WCW because there's not enough going to pay for it. But that's why they're charging $18 per ticket. But come on, James, they're a monster for themselves.
This is Jim Cornette from Pro Wrestling USA.
Went in and started paying all these TV stations for TV time. Don't put this guy's show on, put ours on. Here's $5 grand.
We see the tennis pro.
Jeez. And then they tell the buildings, wait a minute, don't rent to these guys.
Jamesy, how is your mother?
So now they've got to make that money back some way, so they up the ticket prices. Used to a family of 5 could go to the matches, buy a T-shirt, and have a hot dog and a Coke, and spend $30 or whatever, $35. Now they're into $150. So that's they don't care about the wrestling. Vince McMahon said we don't want all these gap tooth, slobbering blue-collar wrestling fans. We want the yuppies. They got the money to spend. They're going to buy the ice cream bars. They're going to buy the dolls. They're going to watch TV. And the advertisers want to buy spots on shows that these yuppies watch because they spend all this money. So that's the audience he went after. Well, in the meantime, he got on the newspaper and he told them, yeah, all you wrestling fans have been going to our matches for 50 years. You're a bunch of gap tooth, slobbering fools. We don't want you anymore. We were fooling y'all alone and taking your money. That's what he basically told them. So those people ain't never going to come back. At least not to see him, not to see the NWA. So the same thing. They might go to see a new promotion who treats them better, but they're just not going to go back to see that stuff. So now, when the yuppies find something else to do, like going on a daggum yacht race or whatever, and forget about wrestling, then he's going to have nobody. He ain't going to have the people that supported him all those years. He ain't going to have the fan audience that he had for 6 or 7 years. Gino Ferlin on steroids. Okay, I'll be there in a second.
I have a question for you. Do you still talk? Do you keep in touch with Bobby?
Oh, yeah. He lives a mile down the road from me.
Twin brother.
Yeah.
All right. Jimmy.
Yeah, Bobby's my best friend in the world.
Jimmy, how was your meal?
Pretty good. As a matter of fact, I've lost some weight and everything, and that helps him out quite a bit.
I'm going in for Nice. I feel for it.
You're saying that they used to go to wrestling in
was watching a tape from a couple years ago. One of the best things I've ever seen in wrestling since I've been a fan. From the Bash 80s, you had the street jacket on?
Yeah.
And you were talking to the referee, can you be bribed? That was the funniest thing I have ever seen in my life. That was hilarious.
Yeah, somewhat, yeah. Not full time, but yeah.
See you, Jim.
Now about to approach David Meltzer. Wrestling Observer's editor. Cornette. Cornette. Can you be bribed? Can you be bribed? I cannot be bribed. Can you be bribed? I cannot be bribed. He's an honest man. It's a crackpot. It's a crackpot.
Somebody trying to demonstrate an elbow in her blood.
Woman in the crowd.
I want. You always get the coach.
Flair do stuff in a woman.
Well, even second behind with me is fine with me. Now, if you said Eddie Long, I might get a bit upset.
To give some. You didn't ask him. You did not ask him. You can't leave him. I'm afraid of what we're going to miss. He's absolutely got it. Here he comes.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, 275 pounds of twisted steel and almost half sex appeal. I'm talking about the man that's tougher than a Waffle House steak, meaner and badder than a rattlesnake, and besides that, look at this beautiful hairdo he has. Ladies and gentlemen, Bombshell Billy.
And ladies and gentlemen, the man that put wrestling on the map, wrestling manager extraordinaire, Jim Cornette. We'll see you there tonight. Cactus Jack. There he is.
There he is.
All right. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
All right, good. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes. The Wild Man.
Silver tickets only in this line.
What a crowd.
Staff, everyone, and look. Wow.
How you doing?
Nature Boy, Ric Flair, everyone. 7-time current. Rick, can you give us a little woo for the camera? Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Val? Val? I didn't think so. I knew you went to that quilting bee followed by the church service.
She what?
Uh-oh, doom is coming. Oh, my Lord. I've got one of these home, I haven't seen it. That's an oldie. An oldie but a goodie. Back in some halfway decent days.
Joke for the camera.
Joke for the camera. I tell you, you know I showed up late at Jeffrey Dahmer's dinner party? Boy, did I get the cold shoulder. I didn't get over too good. Okay, how about this? Jeffrey Dahmer's renting his apartment out. Comes complete with roommate, some assembly required. I told my son about the birds and the bees. He told me about my wife and the butcher. Hey, you know what Michael Landon's expecting for Christmas? Lyle Alzado.
Oh my God. Camera's shaking all over. Yes, sir. The great James E. Cornette. There he is.
You stick that tongue out of me unless you mean business now. Hey,
oh my goodness. You got tongues full.
Bring those sleigh bells over here. The Nate was requesting your presence over Flair. Wait a minute, picture. Come here and explain it to his wife.
There he is, James E. Cornette.
Oh, it's good to be the king.
Oh my God. Hello, woman.
Never really can, maybe a rule breaker, but I still don't
It's nice. I want to hear some more theme songs. Theme songs. Come and listen to my story about a man named... Hey, how about this one? Come and listen to my story about a man named Herd.
That's not nice.
What rhymes with that? Turd? Yeah. I won't go any further with that mixed company. That may be the cover of a future Observer. As soon as I get my lyrics down. Can I get a picture of you and woman together? Sure. After all, beauty before whatever I am. I don't know.
Cactus Jack, everyone, there he is.
D-E-R-E-K.
Along with Dave Meltzer.
What'd you hear?
You don't know
Mark, was Mark.
Can you send this to Bill, please?
Oh yeah, that's right. You're in the back there. Yeah. Very well done. This story, Mark is back. Mark, the story.
How about a big sneer for the camera?
Sneer?
A big sneer. There you go. Thank you very much.
I'll look at the old tapes. The sound clip of wrestling you on WWF Wrestling North.
That was a while ago.
That's Cactus Jack. Oh my God.
About 55 pounds ago.
Thank you very much, guys.
The great Bruno, Sammartino. How there, Bruno?
Visiting.
He said three.
We're going to head over here. Pardon me. And there it is, the beautiful Nature Boy's robe.
3,000 going once. Hold it up close to him just a little bit longer. Hold everything close to him. 3,000 going once. 3,000 going twice. Look at this stone face right here. Listen to your public. Listen to your public. Going once. Going twice.
got it.
The Nature Boys roll.
Holy mackerel. Hand it over. Where'd he go? He's coming around.
And wow, look at that man. That man has just auctioned himself. He just bought himself the Nature Boys robe. It is beautiful. Here he comes.
We're still doing it. Don't worry. Hey, I'm on the ball.
There he is, that
hey,
man.
Wait, turn around here a second. He's the champion of the convention at least. How's
There he is.
that?
All right. Hot damn. Man probably doesn't even have any money.
He's going right now to meet Rick's personal presentation. Going right now to meet Rick's personal presentation. Electra? $3,000. Let's somebody trustworthy hold on to that for a second. Hey, you got a outfit on. Yeah, Wells Fargo. Give it to the Wells Fargo guy. How about a nice hand for Electra too? She did a heck of a job.
We'll give her a couple hands. And we know what we'll do with them too.
And thanks everybody except for the people who wouldn't bid on my racket and tie, and to them, hell with you. Thanks a lot.
James E.
Oh, and the beach ball, it's gone somewhere. I'm not sure where, but
Jamie.
Ron, you're a heck of a guy.
Jamie. Jamie.
Come on, everybody. We'll see you later.
Jimmy. All right.
Come on.
Jimmy Cornette. Woo! Jamie. Jamie. Me. Jamie. Jamie. Pardon me? There's a man who won't live to see the end of this convention.
He wasn't talking to us, he was talking to the little kids in front of him.
Alright. James E. Cornette heads out the door. And we're going to take a close look at the wrestling ring here. Alright. Going to wrap things up. There they are. There they are, the self-proclaimed next World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions. There they are.
Road Warriors ain't got shit on us.
There they are. Look out, they're coming at you. That championship, the beer. This is the beer talking too. Talk about the Road Warriors like that. There he is. Alright, we're walking around the convention. Still plenty of time to get your convention collectibles, if you will.
Hi, Spink.
How are you?
I was getting lost there.
Alrighty. And right up here now.
$3 grand for Rick's Flair robe. Believe it? I don't know.
Alright, the great Ric Flair. And there's...
Okay, let's say goodbye to our good friend Mondo King.
Mr. Mondo Man. We're heading out in a while. We came by to say goodbye. We're going swimming, so we're going to leave the convention area, so we came to say goodbye. It's been a great convention. God bless you. See you next time.
Right on. Later, dude. Make sure you send me the tape.
Oh, yeah. There is Bruiser Brody.
All right, check it out. Get on over here.
All right. Don't mind me, I'm barking. Sir, this man looked at me strange. There she is. Rockin' Robin. Rockin' Robin. The World Wrestling Federation, UWF, World Ladies Champion. There she is. There's her belt. There's the World Wrestling Federation belt. There's the UWF Women's Championship. There it is. And there she is, Rockin' Robin. Signing away.
Anyone who went to the Jim Cornette fan club raffle, as soon as we get Jim here, he'll pick them with his name. You know Rob?
There she is. Bells jingle, jangle, and jingle, and I hear...
Yeah, I was going to tell you, take that careful.
Be terrible anyway. You give up the Sherry or you...
Rockin' Robin. Great convention here.
Wait a minute.
All right, she's gonna dance. Here we go. Go, baby, give it a go, 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 go. There's Pataki. Rockin' Robin. World Wrestling Federation Ladies Champion, UWF Ladies Champion. Robin,
Yes, sir.
we had a great time. Thank you very much. All right, we're coming down here. The big ox.
Bob, I'm talking about.
Oh, pardon me, yes. All right. Ox Baker, there he is.
Hey, how you doing?
Legendary match star. How are you, Ox?
I'm having a great time.
All right, we're having a great time,
my
too.
good friend here, Cactus Jack.
Cactus Jack, there he is. Cactus Jack. An animal.
He's rubbing my head for luck, which is all right.
All right. There you go.
You didn't hear my last bid. I said 3,100, but everybody was talking.
He wanted to Flair.
You could have walked away with the Nature Boys row box. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
All right. Cactus Jack. Cactus Jack.
I love Cactus Jack. What happened to Rip Rogers? He wasn't back today.
No. Too much dancing last night. Yeah, he was here last night. He was tearing up the dance floor last night down in the bar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. Autograph pictures here for $2. $2 for autograph pictures.
No, I don't think
he just walked around the whole time.
He just walked around.
Put on his trunks and stuff.
So Cactus, what are you going to be doing now?
What? Beating on the booth. Beating on the booth. You couldn't help but swell like me, huh, Cactus? Big money man like you?
Yeah, but I've got boots. Yeah.
I already got boots.
It's serious. That cost you $225 to buy brand new. People they paid us $20 to run the bid up. It's embarrassing. Embarrassing, right?
So Cactus, what are you going to be doing? Are you going to be working for Global or World Championship Wrestling?
Who are you? Geraldo?
I am.
I don't know at this point.
Still up in the air?
Yeah, it's up in the air.
All right. Maybe you can work both. I see you everywhere.
This isn't AP Network News, is it?
No, this is Network. This is me and him's Network collection. There he is. Dave Meltzer, the great.
Hey there.
How are you, Dave?
I think Cactus wants to go to the AWA.
We're wrapping everything up here.
AWA?
Yeah. Things are happening over there these days, I hear.
They haven't called me back.
That's because they haven't called anyone.
Maybe that's why everything is happening.
There he is. The great mutton chops.
Look here, guys, a nice
When they cut off Fox Baker's mutton chops in Georgia?
Yeah.
Ronnie Garvin.
Yeah.
There's the big mutton chops that was thrown back. Look at them things. They're beautiful. Look at them. Great ox baker, cauliflower ears. Look at those eyebrows. The man is beautiful. As is this one.
Yeah.
There's Dave selling things.
We're wrapping things up here. We're saying goodbye to everyone.
Trying to get a picture?
They were taking off.
Get that $2
going to the pool.
I don't want you holding on that forever.
When you leaving, Dave? This afternoon or tonight?
Probably either tomorrow morning or I'm leaving either tomorrow morning or I'm leaving Tuesday morning if I do SummerSlam.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, Dave, that's Dave for SummerSlam.
All right.
Which means the newsletter will be very late.
This means the newsletter will be...
It's going to be very late no matter what. SummerSlam will make it about 3 days late.
That's okay, Dave.
Late.
That's okay. As long as you were here with us, it's all right.
And get that who's who, the next who's who. We need a new who's who.